Hey everyone, Ricky here. Welcome to Just Some Tuts. This is going to be the first real tutorial in the Java series. The last one was really just kind of telling you how to set Eclipse up, which is an IDE, or an integrated development environment, which lets you just code all your stuff with Ease basically, and the JDK, which is the Java Development Kit, which you need to make any Java code in the first place. So this is going to be the first tutorial, so welcome back to people who watched the last one, and welcome to people who did not watch the last one if this is your first one. So the first thing you're going to do is open up Eclipse. It's going to look something like this. So yours might be a bit more cluttered because sometimes it has a bunch of junk around it and all that shit when it starts up, so just kind of close that stuff out. Just make sure that you have the console down here, kind of like a gray thing here in the middle, and all your packages on the side, which you won't have anything here, but I have a lot of shit here, but you know. So just go to File, and then New, and then, File, New, and then Java Project here. And then for project name, you can just type test. I mean, it doesn't really matter what you call it, and then just hit Finish. And then you should be in your test project now, make sure it's highlighted, and then you just click this little C here with like a superscript plus sign here, and it's called New Java Class. And you don't really have to worry about this per se, it's just kind of what you're going to be calling your program. So you can also call this test, or you can call it whatever you want really. And then source folder name is empty. Oh, right, okay. If this happens to you, you just have to click Browse, and then just click Test right here, the one that you just made, and then SRC, and then it should work. So, okay, sorry about that. So then hit Finish, and then you should have this thing. It says Public Class Test. Now, you don't really need to worry about what this is. Just consider it almost like a package, I suppose, where you need... Consider this like the outside of the package. This is just kind of the main thing that holds absolutely everything in your program. It's called a class. And public really just means that any other class can do stuff with this class. So, like I said, for the sake of just showing you guys this, a class is really just kind of the whole program. So just consider it just a program, yeah. So then the first thing that you actually need to do is type this: public static void main string with the two brackets and then args. Oh, I'm back, sorry about that. So this is what you should have so far: public static void main, and then you just start a parenthesis and type string with a capital S, two just normal brackets, and then args, A-R-G-S. And then after this, you just do two curly braces right next to each other like that, and then you put your cursor in the middle of them and hit enter once. That way you actually have kind of this whole little thing where it opens here and ends here, and then you do the same thing for class, which it should have done automatically, where it opens here and it closes here. And as promised, this isn't really going to be a technical tutorial, so we're not going to go too in-depth with what these really mean, with what this really means and this really means. But for now, all you really need to know is that this public static void main, all this mumbo jumbo that you could probably care less about right now, and you know, I don't blame you. Basically, all you need to know is that everything inside this thing called main right here, everything that's inside, literally if you click next to this curly brace, this is the end, and it'll show you, Eclipse will actually show you where it starts, which is right here. So everything inside here is what your program's going to do. It's what your program's going to print, or if your program's going to, you know, make a nice pop-up with a picture of your mom. It really doesn't matter what the program does, honestly. It can really do whatever you want. But for the most part, everything is going to happen within main. That's what's literally... Main is what's going to actually trigger everything else that could possibly be in the program. So, like I said, we'll go into more detail in another tutorial, but for the sake of this tutorial, just type it exactly how I have it, and you'll learn why you type it like this later on, and you'll learn exactly what everything means. So, no worries so far. Alright, so then we're going to actually do the part that actually prints the stuff to the console, which is going to be from, in Eclipse, the console is just going to be down here. In a real program, it could be a pop-up, or it could be really whatever you want. So, and another thing I wanted to explain here is you might see the weird indenting here. You don't have to do it, all this spacing and, you know, where I put the bracket up here and stuff like that. It doesn't really matter. I could have the bracket down here if I want. It's the only reason that I do it like this is just for the sake of style, really. It just makes the program look neater if there's indentations, That way you know that this public static void main, that way you know that it's inside of this, for example, because it's actually literally inside, versus the public class test is like right here on the edge of the program. So you don't need all this spacing and stuff like that. I just do it because it just makes the program look a little bit neater. So now there's this thing built into Java. It's called system.out.println. And when you type anything in Java, you need a semicolon after it, at the end of the statement. You just need to add this, that way Java knows that you're done. And notice how there's actually, after the println, there's actually a set of parentheses right here. Now inside that is the arguments that it takes, and basically that just means, that's just Java asking you, hey, what do you want to print out to the console? So you can, if you want to actually have it type something to the console, you need to put it in quotation marks first of all. That's just saying, literally, it's quoting what you want to say. So let's just say raffle, for example. What this is going to do now is just make it's print ln, which and the ln means line, so it's actually going to print a new line, and it's actually going to just say raffle right on the line. So you can actually click this right here, run test.java, and it should run it, and there you go. You got a new line that says raffle right there in your console. Yeah, this might not seem very useful right now because, well, it's not very useful, but you know, these are the basics, and the more you practice and get better at this, you know, as I just said, the better you'll get at it. So there's another one I'd also like to show you. It's going to be called just system.out.print, no ln at the end. So let's just try that then. If you want to just copy and paste this one so you have two. Now, like I said, if you have the print ln, it actually makes a new line and puts raffle on it instead of just putting it right next to what you had before. So if you test it again with two of them, it's going to give you two lines, raffle, raffle. So if you actually want to, for some reason, put them on the same line, you just get rid of the ln. And honestly, I kind of find this one a bit less useful because you usually want things on separate lines. But if you ever don't want something on a separate line, print is what you want. So now if I do this, it's going to put them right next to each other, raffle, raffle. So it's somebody laughing even harder, I guess. But okay, so then the next thing that I wanted to show you is the print and println, or print line, I'm going to just start calling it print line from now on, is actually, it actually follows a format that's called what you see is what you get. And that literally means what you see is what you get. If you say hello, bunch of spaces for some reason, and then world at the end, and a bunch of numbers right here, this is exactly what it's going to look like in the console. It's not going to ignore your spaces, it's not going to ignore the numbers, it's not, you know, if you make half the letters lowercase, you know, stuff like that, that's exactly what you'll get down here. And that's the really cool thing about Java, is that it was built to be as smart as possible. It literally will follow everything that you tell it, word for word. So that's about it for this tutorial, honestly. We'll cover a bit more in the next one, such as printing variables, and we'll cover the basic variable types called primitives. You'll learn more about that in the next one. So thanks a lot for watching.